Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 12 of Transplanar RPG. It is so awesome to see all of your non-existent faces. As always, thank you for tuning in. My name is Connie. My pronouns are they, he, and she. I am the GM and executive producer behind Transplanar. You can find me on Twitter at @byConnieChung and on Tumblr at @DandDaddyIssues. I am also a professional GM with Magpie Games' curated play program, and I'm going to pass along introductions right along to C.
Hi y'all, my name is C. I use they, them pronouns. I'm a digital artist, dancer, and jack of many hats. I usually have the character art up, but I believe that Hannah's work is up on Art Overlay today. I think as far as I can tell, woohoo! But I also have commissions open. I have emote commissions open. So check me out on Twitter at PieSharpArt or on Tumblr at Pie-Sharp. I'm going to pass it right down to Max.
Hello, that's me. I'm Max. I go by they, them pronouns. I play the Aarakocra Artificer, Dewey Quirk. We'll talk about that later. I am a cat parent all the time. So, you can find me on Instagram and Tumblr at Starchmonger. I'm gonna pass it to Devin.
Hello, my name's Devin. I use they, them pronouns. I am a Japanese linguist, sign linguist, interpreter, translator, all that fun stuff, and music memester. You can find me literally nowhere on the internet, but I'm going to throw the link to our Discord in the chat in just 1 second, because that's the only place where I'm ever... That's the Discord. That's the only place where I'm ever active on the internet, so you can come find me and all of us there and have some fun with a great community. And with that, I'll pass it down to Erica.
Hi, everybody. I'm an Erica. She, her pronouns. I play V. Nakshirzo, that lovable con woman, elf sorceress charlatan, who speaks only the most truest of things. And I like to stream horror games here on the Twitch at Erica New Girl. You can find me at social media at Erica New Girl. If I'm not there on social media on that platform, then I don't have it. I'm not cool like the hip kids. And with that, I will pass it to Connie.
Great, wonderful. Thanks for that introduction where you really just revealed your age there, Erica. I'm actually going to pass things along to C for our usual opening statement.
Our opening statement from Cricket, actually. Cricket's going to give it to us today. She says, "Fuck Wizards of the Coast." As always, fuck Wizards of the Coast. You can use our !WOTC command in chat at any time to get a full statement on our stance. Connie, will you tell us more about our future programming so I can put the cat down?
Absolutely. So as you all probably know by this point, we play our main campaign weekly now. Used to be bi-weekly, now we're weekly right here on Twitch at Transplanar RPG, Saturdays at 3 p.m. Central US time. So tune in next week, Saturday, November. That is going to be, let's see, 21st at 3 p.m. Central for episode 13. Plus, you can join us Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central for our solo and group gaming nights, where one or multiple members of our cast will play Overwatch, Final Fantasy XIV, Overcooked 2, Stardew Valley, and much, much more. C, would you like to talk a little bit about our promo partnerships?
Absolutely. As a reminder, you can check out our promo partners with other trans, queer, and POC-led streams, pods, and projects by using the ! Promo partners in the chat at any point. We're also super excited. Cricket is so excited to tell you about our official merch store that is up and running. You can use the ! Merch command to get to our Redbubble page and find yourself stickers, t-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, iPhone cases, hats, basks, if you need them. We also want to shout out if you're interested in supporting other trans folks who are in need. There's a really wonderful hashtag going around Twitter right now called Trans Crowdfund. So if you have money to give and you want to support just trans folks seeking help for housing, medical attention, food, anything like that, you can use that hashtag and find that. Erica, would you please tell us about our donors?
Yes. We would love to acknowledge everyone who has subbed, given bits, donated, anything to support this stream last episode or during our solo video game nights. Those folks are Bangle Org, Big Elder Turnip, which I first read as by Gelder Turnip, and I didn't know what a Gelder was. Sassy Wolf 1989, and Stormybot. I'm just going to keep on rolling right away with our donation goals and grand prize. As you can see in our overlay, we have 25 sub goal, and at 5 subs, you grant us 1 collective inspiration. At 15 subs, you grant us 1 auto crit, and at 25 subs, you will unlock yet another backstory of one of our beloved characters. Use !sub at any time to look at those sub rewards. And now I'm just going to go ahead and continue on this love to Max for a recap.
That's right. As a reminder, you can access the written recap document by using !recap or by going to bit.ly/transrecap. Let me do this. Okay. Let me tell you a little bit about what happened last time. Dewey found himself in a time-space traveling room, which was the back room where the Myriad had him. After that, he left and took a bath and met up with the rest of the party. But before that, the rest of the party, Oka and Manaia, were fighting the Face Stealer, which had regenerated. After they kill it, they are offered a gig by the lovely Miss Saram. And Vee meets a dude named Adam, and really buys into the chrysalis thing. The rest of us, we all met up at the waterfall and helped calm down like a riot, or like the rage that was taking over a bunch of the miners near the mine where we were staying. With that calmed down, we're gonna talk about this evening.
Wonderful. Sorry, I'm getting used to my new mic. Thank you for that, Max, for that lovely recap. And of course, now let's move on to Devin. Why don't you tell us about the title of this episode?
Alright, so as always, the titles of our episodes come from poems written by poets, especially poets of color, especially women and LGBTQIA plus people of color. And this poem, I think, comes from the same poet as last week. I'm pretty sure it was the same. Yeah. Different poem. It's from a book called Yesterday I Was the Moon by Noor Unahar. Book looks like this. It's in paperback. Yeah, she's really cool. And the title of our episode is... Oh god, which part was it?
My bones.
Oh yes, my bones carry calmness and chaos equally. Is the title of our episode, and the full verse reads, my bones carry calmness and chaos equally before every war. I sound like peace after every fall. I rise a hurricane-shaped masterpiece. If you'd like more information on the book, reach out to me, or join our Discord. I can give you the ISBN and all that kind of fun stuff.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you, Devin. And now moving on to the session itself, the moment you've all been waiting for. Some content warnings for this episode may include the following: described in vague terms or heavily implied, imprisonment, torture, dismemberment, actually mind control and hypnosis is another one, body mutilation, and forced drugging. So if at any point any of this happens, please take care of yourself and step away. Our mods will do their best to signal that in the chat when those scenes are over. Without further ado, let's begin. The hostel that the 4 of you end up staying at after the fires die down and the screaming of the rioters fade into the darkness is not necessarily the most furnished of hostels you've ever been to, but it's also not the worst. Nestled in a nice little corner of Suraksha, perhaps a couple hundred meters away from the E12 mines, the entrance to the E12 mines, is the Harpy Hotel. The logo of which is a harpy woman with wings splayed and talons in a thrusting motion. The hostel is comprised of brick, stone, and a nice dugout fire pit out front that, during the day, presumably the proprietors of this hostel use to grill meats and vegetables and also set upon bowls of congee for their customers. But right now, as night inches closer and closer into this mountain stronghold of Dabathati, the embers are not active, and there are very few people loitering outside of the hostel. The four of you clutch in your hands basically a voucher that this captain of the Night Watch had given to you as thanks for your help in putting down the riots and constraining them to the back of Dabathati. With this voucher, you're basically given a free stay at this hostel for the night. As the four of you stare up the stone steps leading into this building, what do you do?
So, how many rooms is this good for? Oka gestures with the voucher.
Who are you talking to?
The party.
Okay.
I mean, I really don't know.
All right, I'll ask someone else.
None of us can read.
All of you are illiterate. Okay, Oka, are you walking into the building?
Yeah.
Okay. Oka, you stride.
I am.
Okay, you stride into the building, and there's sort of like a low front desk area. There's like a nice little, like a small lounge with a few like hookahs set up. There's like a low royal of smoke just kind of in this lounge. A couple of customers are puffing at hookahs, but it's pretty late, so there's only like 2 or 3 sitting on mats nearby, and there is a woman with long braided black hair behind a front desk. She's currently reading a scroll, doesn't seem to notice the 4 of you entering. What do you do?
Oka's gonna go right for her, probably.
Okay.
Just like slap the voucher on the desk. Be like, how many rooms for this?
Oh. Well, hold on, sorry, I'm at a good part in my novel. She goes back to reading her scroll and ignoring you completely.
Somebody else deal with this. Oka's gonna stalk over. Is there a bar?
There is a bar, but it's currently closed down right now. You don't see anyone behind it, tending to it.
All right. V's gonna walk up to said person and hello there, friend. Oh my, what striking eyes you have. Are you what color are those eyes? Like, it's hard to see in this light.
Brown?
What? There's like so rich. I could just eat them up. Say, what's the room situation in this place?
Do you have a voucher too? It's 1 for 1. 1 voucher, 1 room sort of situation. I guess.
So
it's usually... Well, let me have a look. Let me just bring it here.
Alright, so I hand my vouchers. Everybody bring your vouchers. Let's get this over with.
Yeah, just give it here.
We only have 2, right?
Each of you got a voucher.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Bring it here.
All right.
Okay, let's see, the 4 of you. Yeah, it's actually 1 for 1. Unfortunately, we're pretty much full up on rooms. We just got the 1 room left. And it's our king suite. These aren't gonna cover the fee. But it's gonna cover half of it. You're gonna have to pay for half. You're gonna have to pay for half of just 1 room, 4 of you squish in there.
Well, we get a discount for having to squish all in there, right?
Yeah, but it's still our king suite. Usually it fits 2, but it'll fit 4. Yeah, there's just 1 bed though.
How much is after these vouchers? How much is it?
Hold on, yeah. She takes out an abacus and just like consulting a notepad. And she says, yeah, it's gonna be let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you a minor, sir? It's talking to you, Dewey.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
you get that's extra. That's a minor fee.
Shit.
So that's,
No, I'm not.
I'm a
no,
minor
not.
too.
Look at how clean I am.
I'm also a minor.
but extra minor
No,
fee.
no,
Okay, I'll
stop.
take it on. Let's see.
Oh,
No, look at
it's
us.
an
We're too
extra
clean to be
fee for minors?
Yeah.
Yes, what-
Extra for child.
We're not
care.
minors.
You also don't look like a child.
Oh,
Let's see.
no. Miners isn't working in the mines.
No, I was talking about children, like minors.
Oh.
You're not.
That's no, we're all adults here. No extra fee.
Oh, okay. Then I'll do the 4 adults special fee. Okay, 4 adults in 1 room special fee for that. Yep. She's like clacking at the applicant. She says, "All right, total for 1 night's gonna be 10 gold."
All right, I'll give you 5 because we have to squish in there.
7.
You drive hard bargain, but I'll give you 6.
All right. 6, and why don't you throw in a nice little let's see. She's like looking you up and down. You got one of those ties? Got an extra tie in there?
Why need extra tie when you look so good in just one? I do not have extra tie, friend.
All right, fine. 6. All right, hand it over.
And I hand her the 6 gold.
Cool. That's the equivalent of 120 bucks, basically. She like palms the gold and like sticks it into like a drawer and says, "All right," hands you a key. Says, "3rd room, 2nd floor."
All right, grab the key and all right, friends. That hurt the pocketbooks. Let's go.
Okay.
As soon as we're out of earshot, Manaia turns to Vee and goes, and like slaps her on the arm and says, and that's why we keep you around. Look at that. We got, what was that, 4 gold discount?
Don't worry, I'm going to rob back the 6 gold pieces later.
An inn as
yeah.
big and as rich as this, they wouldn't miss it.
I was not prepared for that. Out of character, I was not prepared for that. Okay.
Okay.
Continue.
The 4 of you make your way up the stairs. You get to the 2nd floor. You find the 3rd door that she was referencing. It's a nice big like double door kind of at the end of this hallway. Definitely looks like a king suite. You see the Harpy logo emblazoned in the center of this double oak door and a keyhole right underneath it.
We used the key.
Okay, Dewey, you use the key, you open the suite, and it's a pretty nice suite. There is a bedroom. It's like open floor plan situation. There's a big king-size bed, also like a lounging area with a sofa that someone else could sleep on, and like a nice looking rug, as well as a bathroom and even like a little kitchenette area as you walk inside, and a big old ice box for you to store perishables.
Woo! I'm gonna bleed all over the floor. Oka says, flexing their shoulders that are still bleeding.
Yep. Yep. The woman did
Don't-
seem like not worried at all at the fact that you guys look kind of battered. Seems like perhaps it's not an uncommon occurrence in the city. As you walk in, you close the door behind you. Where are you setting up? What do you do?
So, open floor plan, where is the bed in relation to the doors? Like directly in front, or?
Far away, like down the hall from the door.
Okay. Manaia's just gonna start striding forward towards the bed.
Great. Manaia, stride toward the bed. You notice that there are curtains that have been drawn next to the bed.
I'm gonna go around and just search for anything. I'm just gonna investigate the whole room.
Okay, roll investigation as you just rummage around the whole room. You're kind of like an Asian parrot, like looking for the shampoos and like the complimentary like bars.
Are you
of
gonna
soap.
steal the King James Bible from the?
Do you think it's
Christianity
worth 6
doesn't
gold?
exist here, so there's no Bible.
I got a 17.
Got a 17. Okay, what are the rest of you doing while V is turning this place inside out?
Oka is going to set up the scrying bowl. Unlike the little, I'm sure there's like a little table somewhere.
Yeah, there is like a low coffee
Oka's
table
gonna set it up there.
at the foot of the bed. Okay, you sort of kneel at the coffee table. There's like mats around that you can kneel on. There's not really like chairs necessarily. And you set down the scrying bowl. What about you, Dewey?
Head for the sofa.
To sit down and just take a load off? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And also to set up for the conversation with Dr. Oluso.
Sounds good. You sit down, take a load off. Oof, it's a nice, comfortable couch. Ooh, it's real plush. It's a good lumbar support, too, even though it's nice to sink into. V, with your 17. This room is spick and span. Not a single strand of hair out of place. The thread count on these pillows is immaculate. There's like complimentary you find in cabinets underneath the sink, like some complimentary toothbrushes, soaps, whatnot, hand cloths, etc. Yeah, and you also find like a nice box of cigars.
Well, I'm gonna take the box of cigars and add that to my stash.
Okay, you have a box. You can write down that you have a box of cigars now in your inventory. That's what you find with a 17. Manaia?
She was going to sit down next to the bed, but you mentioned there are curtains drawn.
Yep.
She's gonna take a peek.
There's a window. It overlooks the street. The curtains have been drawn over the window.
Do I see like the front part where we came in, or?
This is actually a view of the back area. So this is a street that you specifically, Manaia, are not familiar with. Oka might be, because Oka has spent some years in the city. You don't recognize this street. It does overlook, you kind of see in the distance glowing the gambling district, sort of where you came from. That strip.
Manaia's gonna close the curtains, set her axe up against the wall next to the bed.
Okay.
And sit down on the floor next to the bed, waiting for Oka to get the scrying bowl ready.
Cool. Manaia, as you sit down on the floor, you notice something interesting. A little rock kind of set up in its own station in the corner. You recognize it as a grindstone that has been set up in here. Seems to be a fixture of the room. And V, you would have noticed that too during your rounds, a grindstone. Seems like perhaps this hostel caters to adventurers in some regard. So... Oka, you set up the scrying bowl. Are you cutting your palm?
I am.
Okay.
They're just gonna like hold the whole bowl up to their back. Just...
Yeah, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, you can milk your wounds
Like-
if you want.
Oka goes, bowls like it fresh. And they're gonna feed it from their palm.
Go for it. Roll damage.
Roll. What damage? How much damage?
Just a D6.
Oh, right. 76.
Yep.
I have celestial resistance to
Remember,
attack.
we resolved this last time.
We've
Resistance doesn't count
always.
when it comes to this bowl.
I'm gonna do this every time.
Gonna
5
ask
points
you-
of damage.
5 points of damage. You cut open your wrist, your palm, sorry, and some blood dribbles into the bowl and fills it about halfway. All this blood coming out, and the bowl seems almost to chime a little bit with happiness and eagerness. And for a moment, the surface ripples once, ripples twice, and then Dr. Oluso's face appears in the bowl. For those of you who are new, Dr. Oluso is our resident NPC quest giver, kind of a brown skin with sort of like blonde hair in an undercut, these wire-rimmed glasses, and kind of a slightly greasy a doctor's robe. Is also described as extremely handsome and beautiful, just so you know. And Dr. Oluso's chiseled face reflects out of this bowl up at you, Oka. And as usual, it seems like perhaps their scrying bowl or mirror is mounted on a wall, because they seem to be looking at it while sitting at a desk. You can see like a sort of like a messy paper-strewn study behind them, and they're actually in the middle of scribbling something out of view. When they appear, they go, Oka, there you are. I've been waiting all night. Is everyone else there with you?
Oh, you
Yeah, Duck.
Oh,
Manaia's gonna walk over there.
hello, Manaia. Hello, Dewey. Is V there?
Yes, I'm here,
Yeah,
and I saunter over to join the group.
Okay.
I'm just gonna like pick up the bowl a little bit and try to like tilt it.
Careful. If it
But
tilts
that's
out, the
the-
connection will end. You won't be able to use it until the next day.
Right. How come yours is like that?
I don't have... it's a long
I feel
story.
like a goldfish.
Yeah, the angle that I'm viewing your faces at is not optimal. Basically, you're all like looking down at this bowl, like you're like double chinning it, like looking down. I have mine mounted on my wall. I've cast a few enchantments on it to prevent the water from spilling out. I can try-
Can you do that?
Yeah, when you come back to me, I'll try to add a few features to your bowl so you can hold it up and not have to. But tell me, what's been going on? I know last we spoke, there was some rumors about what was happening in the riots. Did you get a chance to explore? You all look rather battered. Is everything okay?
Well, yes. And by yes, I mean definitely not.
So how much do you tell Dr. Oluso? I'm assuming you tell them everything except what you might want to leave out. So tell me individually what details you leave out of your exploits since you last spoke.
I'll go first with everything. I'll say that I was in the chrysalis. I will say that everything seemed hunky-dory, that I got to explore all over from top to bottom. Didn't see anything suspicious whatsoever. I met the head of the chrysalis. His name is Adam, and
Adam? Hold on. You don't mention, like, the cages with the bodies?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope,
okay.
nothing.
Okay. And you also don't mention this to the party, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'm surprised that the apparent head of the chrysalis, this Imago? Fascinating terminology. Allowed you to just simply saunter in and talk to him. Does seem a little suspicious. What did he want? What do you say, Vee?
I tell him that I do tell the group and Dr. Oluso that he is well aware of us, that he knows who we are. He knew that we were in the area, and that he was interested in having a conversation already with me. And from there, I just say that he agreed with me that I thought the two groups could be mutually beneficial if we worked together on this project of cleaning up the mines. So he offered Shakur to come with us into the mines as a healer while we try to clear up the mines.
I see. It would be nice to have a cleric's assistant, especially one that can actually heal now that we've discovered the gods are gone. Be careful, though, Vee. I don't trust this Adam man. This Imago. An Imago is the final form of a insect's transformation. A metamorphosis. So... Thanks for the update, Vee. And the rest of you? Oka and Manaia, what details do you leave out about your monster fighting escapades?
I think Oka would tell everything except for the dream from the morning.
Okay.
That's the part that they leave out.
Okay.
They also don't say that they had a panic attack.
Okay, that's fine.
Nor that Manaia did.
Details.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Miss Saram, Lady Saram. The Aurochs Guild. Fascinating. And they seem to be using these new horrific creatures as sporting events. How awful.
Sure, that's what they do.
I feel for the men whose lives were taken. At least it seems like you learned some new information. And I'm sorry you weren't able to find your mentor, Oka, Ravi. Did you manage to ask Lady Saram perhaps if she knew Ravi's whereabouts?
I doubt it. But you can always go back.
That's
or rather, I was supposed to go back.
Yes, bring back one of those. Speaking of which, Dewey, what's been going on with you? Dewey, what do you leave out?
I do not tell him about the whole myriad thing.
So what do you say? Because that was basically
I'm only going to talk about the riots. I'm like... So it seems like the rage is contagious, but it's only being transmitted through deep puncture wounds, probably. I'm not taking any chances. But it seems like they're getting closer and closer, which lines up with, like, the spikes of magical energy we were reading.
Yes, speaking of which, Dewey, tell me everything you know about the timing of the rage. And Dewey, you can consult your notes and, like, just tell Dr. Oluso everything you have on, like, all the, I'm gonna assume that you took, like, some witness statements from Mumfish and Ibia to help, like put some of this evidence together a little bit more. And when you give this information to Dr. Oluso, you see them take out, like, an abacus, sort of similar to the woman downstairs, but their abacus is a lot nicer. It's sort of, like, gilded, looks almost ornamental, and they set it down and they start doing some tabulations as you give them this information. And they say, let's see, based on the frequency, and well, it doesn't appear quadratic, more like, let's see. And they're like scribbling, doing like equations, calculating. And by the time you finish telling them, like, all the evidence you've gathered, they say, well, by my calculations, the four of you, after this rage ends, probably have about 12 hours before the next one hits.
That lines up. Yes.
12 hours? Dewey, didn't you say we had 2 days?
I said anywhere from 1 to 2 days at most.
Yes, Dewey, your calculations are also very accurate, but I would like to err on the side of being conservative with how much time you have left. If it makes you feel better, the riots should abate overnight, leaving you anywhere between 8 to 16 hours. I'm saying 12 to sort of round in the middle.
Oh, we better work fast then.
Yeah.
Yes, you better work quickly. Anything else the four of you would like to report? I recommend you should definitely check out that strange tunnel that opened up at the end of the mines. I have a feeling that tunnel leads to the answers we've been seeking this entire time.
We've told the city. Oh crap! I have her name written down. Not on that piece of paper. Not on that paper.
Yeah.
Vadan Vahufya?
Yeah, Vahufya. We told the captain of the guard about what's been going on. She's going to bring it to the council. The city knows about the dangers of the rage. They don't know that we're going deeper, I don't think.
I see. Well, in that case, you better be obvious about your intentions, or you can try to be stealthy. I'll leave the best course of action up to your judgment.
I will say that part of the deal with the Chrysalis is that we do make sure we give them some credit for the help they give. That was part of the deal.
Again, I'm choosing to trust your judgment on this. If this is okay with the rest of you, I'd say that might be a risk you might be willing to take. None of you have dedicated healing abilities. It would be a great boon to have a cleric on your side. At the same time, I don't trust the Chrysalis as far as I can throw their salesmen off my porch, which is quite far and often.
I will say that after speaking with Adam, he seems like my people.
Adam. What a strange name. I don't trust this man.
Regardless of what god they worship, they help people.
Perhaps. Sometimes, though, people help people for their own ulterior motives. Just be careful, will you? I worry for the four of you.
We'll keep an eye out.
Okay.
Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome, Manaia. And, has that gem come in handy?
Oh. No.
Roll deception.
Oh boy. Great. No.
Well, that's good. We have 2 uses of it then?
Yes, you should have 2 uses.
That
What'd you
should be
get?
I rolled a 17.
Alright. Well, yes. Make sure to use that gem liberally to see the true nature of things. This might be particularly helpful to you in the mines. It's getting a little late on my end. I should be getting to bed. The 4 of you should get some rest as well. Make sure to report back in tomorrow night. I do worry for you. I fear perhaps I might have sent you in a little bit over your heads.
Hardly.
That's not helpful. I was already anxious about it.
I'm sorry, Dewey. I'll make a note to keep such comments to myself next time. I'm sure the 4 of you will do splendidly. I have the most faith in all of your capabilities.
Roll insight.
You can't just say
20.
roll insight and roll it, Max. I'm gonna not
I rolled a
allow
fucking
you.
natural 20.
No, that does not count. You can't just say roll insight and roll it. I asked you to make rolls. Okay, you can't
Roll
just
perception.
say You can't just say roll insight and roll it as a player. What if I was like, oh, you're gonna attack the bull? Roll, you die, bitch, you die. Absolutely the fuck not. I don't think so. Okay. Dewey.
Connie's control freak
My
comes
control
out.
freak is coming out. You can't just fucking do that. Dewey.
Okay, Aries.
Yes, I am an Aries and proud. Respect the ram. Respect the ram. Okay. So, Max, you're squinting at Dr. Oluso when she says she has the utmost faith in all of you. Are you just trying to read her micro expressions?
Sure.
Okay, roll insight.
I rolled a fucking natural 20. Let me use it.
Connie!
Okay, I'll allow it this one time, but just know this is kind of a pet peeve. You can't just say, I'm gonna do this and roll for it, because what if there's situational things that are happening? You know, it's honestly kind of rude, in my opinion. But I'll let you keep the nat 20 this time, because you did roll a nat 20, but next time, please don't do that. So do you have any bonuses to add to that?
+2.
Okay, 22. Dr. Oluso does not seem very convinced, but they're putting up a brave face. they're trying to look like they have faith in you. They look worried, mostly, based on everything y'all have told them, all the updates. And they also probably seem a little suspicious of you, Dewey. They think, you get the feeling that they can tell you're hiding something.
I find that hilarious.
They're looking at you sideways, but they're not bringing it up in front of everyone else. Well, is that all?
Yes, let me pour this outside. And Oka grabs the bowl really quickly and starts going out of the room with it.
Oh, well,
pretty much as fast as they
can. You can just pour it down the drain as well. I suppose I'll sever the link. Have a good night, the four of you.
Oh, no, wait. Let me just dump it outside.
Oh, okay. Understood, okay. You leave the room, and you close the door. While you're out of the room, presumably, Oka. Right? Okay, what are the three of you doing?
Does anybody have a writing instrument and scroll paper that I could write something on real quick?
I've got a quill.
Is that... Yeah, I'll take that. Could I just write something real quick?
Oh yeah, I have extra pages in my notebook, and I rip one out.
Sweet. I'm gonna...
Plucks a feather off of his body.
Nope! Not going there.
Right, I'm just gonna start writing something real quick while they're... whatever other people are doing.
Okay, Manaia, Dewey? Great. So Oka, outside in the hallway, you sort of look at this bowl. Are you trying to be... you're being discreet, I'm assuming. Dr. Luso's looking up at you. Hydrate, redemption, what do you say?
Ooh, I'm gonna say, Oka's gonna drink the bowl. Just kidding.
Oh my god! You're gonna drink your own blood. Mercury poisoning. Okay, what do you say?
Nope, just kidding. Doctor, I didn't want to say this in front of everyone else. Oka's shuffling down the hallway and trying to whisper into the bowl. They really are taking it outside. Okay. I guess.
Yes, Oka?
I had a dream last night.
Okay.
I haven't done that in a really long time.
You haven't dreamt?
No, I haven't dreamt in a long time.
Let me guess, you haven't dreamt since you got your scar.
Yes.
What happened in the dream?
I don't remember. I don't remember anything about it. It's not just that I can't remember because I was asleep and it was a dream. I can't remember. It's like an empty space in my head.
I see. Well, if you dream again, let me know, and what I do, I sometimes keep a dream journal. As soon as you wake up, write it down. It's just the first few things you remember, write it down. Even if it's escaping from you, like gossamer in the wind. Write it down as soon as you can. Do Did the dream leave you with any lingering feeling? Fear. Well, Oka, let's cross our fingers and hope it was just a dream, just a nightmare, some strange anomaly, given the disappearance of the gods. Now would be the time for aberrations to occur in your nightly routine. But if you have any more dreams, please let me know. This is rather concerning. As I did mention to you earlier, your T, is a little blockaded. If you start dreaming again, this could mean one of two things, in my opinion. The first is positive news. It could mean that your T, for whatever reason, is becoming unblocked. You're beginning to have a connection to your spiritual self again, the self that allows you to access dreaming and intuition.
Oka makes a face, like, like, yeah, right, buddy.
If that's not the case, then that only leads to the second conclusion, which is that some outside force is causing you to dream, and it has nothing to do with your T. This force might be malignant, it might be benevolent, it might be neutral or ambivalent. Because we don't know what the contents of the dream are, it's too early to draw conclusions. Even the fact that you're left with fear doesn't necessarily mean it's malignant. Fear can be an omen, a warning from a source that's trying to help you. Fear can also be, of course, aggression. Keep me posted, Oka. At the end of the night, dreams are just dreams. They can't hurt you in and of themselves. Take some solace in that. I do think either your spiritual self or some other entity is trying to tell you something, though, Oka. So, keep a journal.
We'll see.
Is that all? Okay.
Yes, Doctor.
Well, you can dump me wherever you see fit, and oh, just in the hall.
No, right on. I figured they'd like gone down the stairs.
Okay,
you
and
know?
like outside. Okay,
Like gone outside.
you.
So like right into the bushes.
They go up, and like their face scatters against the cobblestones, and the magic is severed. Do the four of you do anything before you go to sleep?
V is going to tell everyone, because I only need 4 hours of sleep, I'm going to wake up early. I'm going to go to the chrysalis, get Shakor. I think we should move very quickly in the morning, perhaps. So I will time out my leaving and getting Shakor to here at whatever time. And I have a note here. Do not read it until morning, please. Oh, you're muted.
Oh, you're muted, yeah.
Sorry, there was some stuff happening in the house. Have Shako meet us outside, would you?
Will do.
In that case, in order to not wake anyone else up, maybe you should take the couch?
I paid for a large king-size bed.
Yeah, V, you should sleep on the bed. I'll take it.
No, fine. You know what? I'm such a wonderful person. I will sleep on couch. You, Manaia, you're very long. You should have bed. And Oka, you're gonna make a mess wherever you sleep, so you can take the bed as well.
I'll sleep on the floor. Okay, you take the bed. Dewey, also the bed. V on the couch, so you don't wake us up in the morning.
I don't think Oka comes back up right away. I think they actually stay downstairs and smoke literally as much hookah as they can.
Okay. Okay.
At some point, Dewey will see all the bruises on Manaia and be like, "Oh, you should get some ice on that so it doesn't swell for tomorrow. Is there an ice machine?" And he goes out and looks for an ice machine, and also kind of like,
Okay.
I don't know if he bumps into Oka.
When you say ice machine, Manaia and V, the two of you are like, what the fuck is that?
Okay, would I know anything being from Uhana?
But you're a sailor. You do like sometimes like deal with goods. You're from, so I'll let you roll. How about that?
Okay,
I'll let you roll with a lower DC than it would be for V. Both of you can just roll history.
History?
I
Nat
mean, what
one.
other skill would it be?
Knowledge check
There is
or intelligence
just
check?
a straight intelligence check then, let's say.
Okay, 12.
It's a nat one.
Yeah, an ice machine? You're imagining like an automaton made of ice. Or perhaps like a machine that creates snow. You're not exactly sure what that means.
In fact, I think about it so hard that I get a headache because it was a nat one.
Yes, you get a headache. You're like, oh, you know what? I don't even
Brain
think.
freeze.
Brain freeze. Wow, Scruffus has gifted 5 subs to viewers. Thank you for
Holy
that,
heck.
Scruff. We're almost to our next reward tier. 5 more. Thank you for that, Scruff. And Manaia, what did you get?
12.
12. Ice machine. You've never seen one before, but you know generally like the basics of how machines work, being from Muhanahi. So based on that, it's probably a machine that makes ice. You can deduce that much. So Dewey, you say, I'm gonna look for an ice machine.
I don't know if they have them up here.
I thought I saw one on our way in. I'm just gonna go take a look. Also, Oak has been a while.
That is true. Dewey, on your way out, your eye catches an ice box in the corner, which is sort of like a box, wooden box filled with ice to help like store perishables, sort of like a prototypical refrigerator. But on your way out of the hallway, you don't see like a little like cove with like an ice machine, like they would have at the URL at your workplace. There were ice machines, plenty, all these new fangled machines to dispense drinks and foods of all kinds. But there's none of that here. So as you leave Dewey, you go downstairs and you find Hookah. You find Oka. smoking the fat hookah. Okay. You've sat down on a pillow next to a woman who is also smoking hookah. And Dewey, that's where you find Oka.
Oh, looks like if Oka's with someone else, I'm going to be as sneaky as I can so they don't see me. Go for the ice and go back upstairs.
Okay.
I don't want to bother them.
Okay. Are you looking just for like a box full of ice, like an ice box?
Yeah, I just want to
lieu of
find
a
ice.
machine. Yeah, there's like one in a corner where and like a scooper that says like please be mindful of how much you take. in like 8 different languages. And you scoop some into like a bag, into a paper bag that's provided, and you leave. Okay, you see Dewey come down and leave. Yes.
If it was up to Oka, I don't know if this is the case. If they wouldn't choose to sit near anyone.
The only hookah that the other one, when you come down, has been packed up. Presumably, the only other one has a woman at it. So I'm assuming you're cutting your losses and taking it, but it's up to you. Cool.
Cutting my losses. I am indeed.
Cool. You see Dewey come down, look at you, sort of shake his head, go to the ice area and take some ice and start to leave.
It's like,
Do I notice
Yes, Max?
anything about the person Oka's sitting with?
She is a half-elf woman, presumably in her 20s. You can't really tell, though, sometimes, when it comes to certain species. She has dark skin and this sort of, like, short, black hair, in like, short braids. And she has a spear that's sort of, like, leaned against a cushion, like, horizontally against a cushion. Presumably, maybe also an adventurer dressed in, like, rugged leather armor.
That seems like what Dewey would know of Oka's type, so he's definitely gonna go leave him alone.
Okay, Dewey, you leave the two of them alone. Oka, when you sit down next to this woman, she doesn't really say anything at all. She's just smoking hookah and ignoring you completely.
Oka is sitting down and ignoring her completely to smoke hookah. I think Dewey comes down and they're sitting silently across from each other. I think Oka maybe like kind of has like a silent challenge, like starts taking more. Yeah, they like take like deeper inhales than what she's doing and like blows it out and is like,
yeah, when you do that, you notice this woman, she like just glances at you briefly and then she takes like the biggest hookah rip you've ever seen. As she like blows out smoke rings. like into the sky. And like she's doing it so like the rings go into each other, you know, like cool like smoke tricks.
Oh yeah, challenge accepted. Oka is going to try to cast light on the smoke in their mouth so that when it comes out, it glows.
Okay, you cast light and it glows as it comes out. Is it forming like a shape?
As much as they can.
Just a huge light, like it starts to shed. Because how much light does light shed? Like bright light in a 10-foot radius, right? And dim light for
20-foot radius. Excuse you, 20 feet of bright light and 20 feet of dim light.
The sun comes out of your mouth. And the woman who is working the abacus at the front desk goes, excuse me, no magic indoors. And she's like tapping a sign like behind her that says like no magic indoors.
In that case, Oka tries to just inhale it back, back into their mouth.
Yeah, you inhale it back into your mouth and the light dies down. And the woman across from you is laughing her ass off. She's just laughing her ass off and she goes, ha, you're pretty good. What's your name?
Okay.
Nirav, nice to meet you. And she extends a fingerless gloved hand.
Everyone loves fingerless gloves.
I know, right?
Oka shakes it.
There's a firm handshake. She lets go. She says, "You from here?"
Yes.
I'm not
Damn.
really. I'm just passing through. Visiting family.
Difficult time to travel.
Yeah, you're telling me. 8. Seems like the entire world is crumbling around us. Doesn't it?
It's just clearer now.
What'd you say?
It's just clearer now, I think.
Careful who you say that around. Talk to a priest of Utabathi, she might smack you upside the head.
Talking from experience.
Ha! Maybe. Yeah, the gods and I, we have a complicated relationship. Let's leave it at that.
Happy to. Oka goes back to quietly smoking until...
Okay. Yeah, Nirav also goes back to smoking a little bit, and maybe like 30 minutes later, she just sort of nods to herself and gets up and says, well, it's nice to meet you, Oka. Hope you find what you're looking for.
Stay safe out there.
Don't
Oka says it with like a kind of chuckle.
Nirav says, don't smoke more than you can handle. Lightweight. And she, kind of like teasing you. And she grabs like her spear and like her belongings and starts heading upstairs.
Okay, keeps going.
Okay, how long are you gonna go for, Oka? At this point, it's like midnight.
Yep. Until Oka feels certifiably uncontrolled, I think. And then they're gonna hoist themselves up. Like, certifiably fucked up so much that they can't think.
Yeah, okay. You're just swimming in smoke as you hoist yourself up. Your head's pounding a little bit. It's presumably been a while since you've smoked so much nicotine that you're a little unsteady, and like a tension headache is beginning to build up inside your skull. Yeah, you're not really in control of your limbs. You kind of flail up the stairs. As you stomp up the stairs toward where the room is, the rest of you, the 3 of you, are you asleep at this point? Have you resolved the conversation, or have you continued to speak?
I was kind of afraid to interject, but Dewey has some ice for Manaia, right?
Yes! Dewey, you have gotten back to the room while Oka and Nirav were still talking to each other, or rather trying to outsmoke each other, with a paper bag full of ice.
I'm gonna dump some into like a small cloth and then tie it up and hand it to Manaia. Say like, you should hold these to your bruises so it's not so bad tomorrow. We still have a lot of adventuring to do. I'm also gonna take some for myself because I also took a lot.
That's true. You did. So the 2 of you start to ice your wounds and your bruises.
Thank you, Dewey.
V?
I'm going to. No, I think V's actually just gonna lay herself out on the couch and try to get to. She wants to get up and out earlier than she has to.
Okay, to get to the children.
Yeah, maybe some other stuff. We'll
Okay,
see.
sounds good. V, you lie down on the couch and you close your eyes and you just try to enter that trance that you have from your heritage.
Sorry, there's some work happening next door, so I had to mute myself for a couple of things, but Manaia is going to tell Dewey to sleep on, specifically, if you walk in, the left side of the bed, and she's going to sit next to the bed on the right.
Like facing the entrance?
The bed's on the left?
Bed's on the
It
left?
doesn't really matter that much. The bed is just sort of there. I was imagining
Okay.
like a hallway with like a little sleeping area, and the bed is
Okay.
perpendicular, sort of to the hallway.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter, but she's specifically going to have Dewey sleep on the other side of the bed from where she's sitting next to the bed, with her axe leaned up against the wall. After another hour, though, she's going to go down to check on Oka.
Okay. So Dewey, are you going to sleep along with V, or are you staying up?
Yeah, I'll sleep.
Okay, Dewey, you get yourself ready for bed after icing your wounds a little bit. You curl up on the bed and you close your eyes. Manaia, once you see that both V and Dewey have closed their eyes and are going to sleep, you get up and you leave the hallway. You leave your room and you enter into the hallway. You meet Oka at the top of the stairs. Oka just reeks of tobacco and smoke, and looks a little unfocused.
Oka, what did you...
Naya! I was trying to find our room. I was having some problems. I'm so glad you're here. I could go to sleep now, because I can't think. I can't feel my brain. So I can sleep.
That's Oka's headache pounding against her skull.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No worries.
She's going to grab their shoulders, and be like, look, let's get you to bed. It's this way.
Thank you. So glad you know which way it is. It's just all of these doors. All of them. There's so many.
Keep your head down.
It's like...
Keep your head down. Don't
How could we... Okay, where are we going?
focus on your feet. One foot in front of the other.
Feet. That fucked up thing. So many doors. Like, what are you supposed to do? You have all these choices laid out in front of you and you can't pick a single one, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just keep going and going and going and going and going, and then you fucking fall asleep again, right? Fall asleep again.
Manaia, you lead Oka toward the room. You manage to guide them inside and close the door behind you.
All right. Dewey and Vee are sleeping.
I wake up. Dewey, you wake up from Oka's loud
What?
I think Vee's asleep.
Are you okay?
We should keep our voices down.
Dewey!
Shh. All right, but let's get you to bed.
I
Okay.
pull aside the covers for the place where I was just sleeping and like guide Oka to bed.
Manaia and Dewey, the two of you guide Oka's sort of swooning body toward the mattress, and Oka, you fall into the most deliciously plump, gentle, beautiful mattress you've ever laid down upon.
This is soft.
It
Oka
is.
falls asleep so
Yeah,
fucking
you
fast.
conk out. Manaia and Dewey, what did the two of you do? You're awake again.
I look at Manaia just like, what?
Should have gotten them sooner. Sorry about the bed.
I'll sleep in the chair. Prefer it anyways.
Okay.
Okay, do we head toward the chair, Manaia?
Manaia's gonna keep her promise. She's gonna sit next to the bed, leaning up against it, and sleep sort of sitting up.
Sounds good. So with that, the four of you drift into an uneasy sleep. And the four of you start to dream. Again. The same dream from earlier. A familiar dream. One that leaves your physical bodies stressed and shaking and covered in sweat. The sky is blood and sundered stars. It's just the 8 of you left. It stands in front of you, taller than the world. The 8 of you will die today at the unfathomable feet of this stranger, and not even your gods can save you. This is your destiny. And V, even though you were trying to wake up early, the 4 of you wake up simultaneously at precisely 8 a.m. Covered in sweat, the details of this dream, just like last night, beginning to escape you as soon as you open your eyes. Oka, I'm gonna say because you had that conversation with Dr. Oluso, I will allow you to try to recall traces of this dream if you bust out your journal immediately and start writing.
Oka went ahead and did a bad coping mechanism instead of the recommended good coping mechanism, so they didn't put out their journal before they went to sleep.
I like that. Why don't I have
I think what they...
for that?
Hey!
Just did a bad thing.
Just did a bad thing. You have to start at the bottom to grow as a character, right? I think instead, Oka... I think they just, like, maybe content warning for minor panic attack something, maybe, happening in the near future, but I think Oka just, like, sits up, yells, like, tries to cover their face, like, almost just, like, rolls out of bed, like, onto the floor, so they can, like, cover their head.
Okay. Oka, you wake up screaming, you roll onto the floor and cover your head. Manaia?
Her eyes snap open, she goes, Oka! And she, like, gets up and turns over.
In time to see Oka fall over and thump onto the floor.
And she's just gonna, like, vault over the bed. Assuming that they rolled on the other side. Sure.
You're able to do that. You vault over the bed, your head spinning, your own like body covered in a cold sweat. As this nightmare, this dream is slipping away from you, but still lingers inside your body. Dewey, V?
V's gonna shoot up and she's gonna mutter. What was the very last line again? It was the word destiny.
Yes.
Particularly, V is going to. She's going to speak. She's going to say some shit in Jukayan, and words that probably shouldn't be repeated on here, and then realizes like that it's daylight and she's late, and she's gonna get in a panic even more and be like, she's gonna pace around the room, like get her packed together, get her clothes all like looking pristine. She's gonna grab her pack. She's going to see what's going on with Oka and on the floor, and Manaia helping, and just sort of like toss the note to Manaia and be like, I will meet you all as soon as possible back here with Shakur, and storm out of the room.
Okay. V, you're a whirlwind of pale hair and just clothes getting thrown on, and you are frantic. You're shaking a little from this nightmare that's already receding from you, but you're like, I just have to do what I have to do. And you are running out of there. Dewey?
I remember the word stranger, and I block out the rest of the room and I try and go back to sleep so I can figure out what happens.
Dewey's like, I'm gonna re-enter the spirit realm. And you open your eyes, you're like, and you close your eyes and you try to go back into that dream. Is that what you're trying to do? But as you close your eyes, it's becoming evident now, you know, the sunlight streaming through, you know, the curtains. They're not blackout curtains. So, like, it's light. It's you know, Oka's thrashing around. Manaya's vaulting over the bed. It's hard to get back to sleep. You feel, your body feels jittery and awake. Like you just had a lot of coffee. Oka, you're on the ground. Manaia over you. What do you do?
Oka's just on the ground shaking.
Okay.
Manaia is rubbing their back and turns to Dewey and says, "We might need a bucket. You want to grab one?"
Here's the ice bucket.
I don't do throw up stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, Oka is in no danger of throwing up. No worries.
Yeah, Manaia's rubbing their back. Like, it's all right. It's all right.
Okay.
Manaia specifically, instead of just rubbing their back, is taking their fingertips and going from the base of their neck down their spine as like a sort of calming thing, just to bring everything down and centered.
Oh, that's very sweet, Devin. I would give you another point of inspiration, but you already have 3. Very cool. Actually, also, Max, why don't you take a point of inspiration for trying to go back to sleep? I think that's a very interesting move. So, yeah, you're stroking Oka. It feels nice. And the 4 of you can actually take the benefits of a long rest despite this restless dream. So you can reset all your features and whatnot. And regain all your health and half of your spent hit dice.
Manaia is going to take the note and toss it to Dewey and say, "Hey, would you take a look at this?"
I do. What does it say?
Check your DMs.
I know, I'm looking.
Are y'all
We're
DMing
actually
each other?
we're passing a note.
Oh, that's funny. Notes.
Okay, that... I don't know what to make of that. I just look at Manaia with like a bewildered face, and like I look over at where V was sitting, which she's not there anymore. And like, what's going on?
I don't know. You never know what's going on with her.
Yeah, it involves more than her though. We should. Is Oka okay? We should get ready to go.
They'll be all right. Just give us a moment.
Okay. So as the 3 of you are wrapping, as the 3 of you are wrapping up in the room, V, your hair is kind of a mess. Your eyes are a little crusty. You're a little sallow from, being shaken and woken awake. And for, an elf, you took the trait of being able to enter into a trance state, which means that sleeping longer than what that trance state allows makes you kind of groggy. It's like you feel like deeply overslept. Like this is just like your like internal clock is all messed up. As you're sort of like stumbling out, you hear the woman at the front desk go, "Oh, are you checking out? Oh, okay, bye." As you just run out and you're heading to the orphanage. I'm assuming you're heading to the orphanage anyway.
Based on the time, yeah, I will. As I'm heading to the orphanage, I'm like still like trying to tidy up. I'm trying to like get myself looking together.
Okay.
I'm also, I really call this like sort of a sorcerer exercise where like I'm almost like getting my arcane like sort of draconic magic essence like pumping through me, and I'm like it's kind of like I'm doing reps, like I'm like psyching myself up. I've been working on something, another spell, so to speak, after Fireball's success, so I'm working on that.
Cool. Yeah, you're waking yourself up, you're pumping magic, you're plucking at the weave and pumping these waves of magic through your body. So by the time that you reach the orphanage, you feel a little bit more awake, and your hair, you're looking more presentable, let's say. Waiting for you outside the orphanage, dressed in these robes with the chrysalis stitched onto the back, is a rather impatient looking Shakor. This human man, bald with doughy face, has his fingers kind of steepled in front of his chest, and as you approach he goes, Vee, I've been waiting for a couple of minutes now. I hope your morning was okay.
Well, I'm sorry for the delay. This whole reckoning, this whole whatever you call it, your vandalism, whatever, has got my sleep schedule all in a tizzy, but I'm ready to go if you are.
Not exactly sure what you mean by our vandalism, but I'm glad to hear that you are prepared now. Shall we go to the mines?
Let's do it. And as we're walking, I also want to inform Shakur of what happened last night with the rage spilling out of the mines and stuff, just so he's aware of what he's walking into.
Sure. Shakur sort of nods slowly and says, my connection to the chrysalis ensures that no outside influences can hurt me or hijack my faith to the chrysalis. So in fact, I should be fearing for my livelihood not from whatever this rage is, but from you and your companions being affected so that you might attack me.
I've thought about that greatly, and I think we've got a great plan. Last time we went in there, our strongest folks gave up their weapons, and our magic users, we went in guns a-blazing, so I think we'll be good.
Okay, that is quite a, pardon the pun, double-edged blade. If you give up your weapon, how can you protect yourself?
Well, we've got some very powerful friends that, whether it's magic or with fists, we can take care of ourselves.
Okay. Are you leading Shakur straight to the mines, or are you regrouping at the Harpy Hotel?
No, we agreed that I would meet. I'm not going to take him directly into it or anything, but we will be within eyesight of it. So when I see my friends come out, then I'll lead him the rest of the way.
Sounds good. I do realize I forgot to give us a break. I should have given us a break after you went to bed. So we can take a break now for about 10 minutes and then come back. Sorry about that. I was like, I'm missing something. What is it? And it's the break. So with that, let's actually take a break for about 10 minutes. We'll be back to resolve to get into the mines and see if we can figure out just what the heck is going on here. So we'll be right back. Stick around. Love y'all. We'll be back.
If I go fast instead of slowly, instead of last, if my father survives me, if I explode, if I go up in smoke, if I go quietly, when I go quiet, give my heart to my mother. She'll know what to do suppose the soul can go to the children. I suppose the trash can go to the museum. I suppose the dreams can go in the casket. I suppose the blood will go where you ask it. Will go where you ask it. Will spill where you ask it. Will spill where you ask. I'll spill where you ask. I'll spill where you ask. I'll spill. I'll spill. I'll spill. I'll spill.
Beneath the sands of time, a castle and its undead court stirs. Deep in the darkest woods, a wild hunt rages on. And at the edge of a fallen city, a never-ceasing hunger gnaws at the ribs of unlucky souls. In the heart of Vyre, the unholy empire, Queen Saphira of the thrice-cursed House of Fane adjusts her grandmother's crown, fully aware that she is not the only devil scheming in her throne room. And somewhere, ignorant to it all, are 4 bad heroes, with no idea just how unprepared they are. Bad Heroes is a Pathfinder actual play podcast set in a homebrew world with a love of storytelling, roleplay, and the more charming forces of hell. Find us on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
If I go fast instead of slowly, instead of last, if my father survives me, if I explode, if I go up in smoke, if I go quietly, when I go quiet, give my heart to my mother, she'll know what to do, give my songs to my lover, she'll know what to do, give my bones to my father, my poems to my sister, my love to one another, give it all to each other. And I suppose the soul can go to the children. I suppose the trash can go to the museum. I suppose the dreams can go in the casket. I suppose the blood will go where you ask it. Will go where you ask it. Will spill where you ask it. Will spill where you ask. I'll spill where you ask. I'll spill where you ask. I'll spill. I'll spill. I'll spill. I'll spill. I was once the tree, and I was the paper. I was the hair, and I was the razor. I was the leg, I was the table. I was the cloth, and I was the indigo. And I was the indigo, and I was the indigo. and I was the indigo, and I was the color girl, 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 and I was the color girl. Doom did It's the blue light when we're out with our friends. It's the blue light asking where the night should end. It's the blue light saying, come over. It's the blue light and cold on my shoulders. Lying in the room, playing with your hair, lying to myself, saying that there's nothing there, there's nothing I can share, no reason to care, no way of knowing where this is going. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing? It's the cold light of the moon when I'm walking home. It's the warm light through my window when I wake up alone. It's the white lies when our friends ask what's going on. It's the white lies when I say we're just fucking and that's all. Laughing in the room, riding in your car, promising myself I won't let this go too far. And yet here we are, so. And yet here we are, so. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing? I'm not your boyfriend, but I'm somebody. I'm not emotionally available, mentally stable, but I'd like to be. Be the blue light when we're out with our friends. Be the blue light asking where the night should end. Be the blue light saying, come over. Be the blue light and the cold in your shoulders. Lying in
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 12, My Bones Carry Calmness and Chaos Equally of Transplanar RPG. A quick recap of what just happened for those who are joining us after the break. We took a rest. That's what happened. Oka got a little messed up from hookah. Manaia tried to comfort Oka. Vee just went to bed, is like, I just need to go to sleep. Dewey also just went to bed, but yet again, just like last night, our heroes each had the exact same horrifying dream of death being their destiny, essentially. And after waking up from that, everyone was extremely discombobulated. Vee has rushed out, picked up Shakwar from the orphanage, and is bringing Shakwar to the mines, while the rest of us, the three of us, Oka, Manaia, and of course Dewey, gather their things from the Harpy Hotel and are leaving.
Let's recap the content warnings as we jump back in the episode.
Yes, content warnings include, well, I suppose, potential panic attacks now, as well as the following described in vague terms are heavily implied: imprisonment, torture, dismemberment, body mutilation, substance use and abuse, and forced drugging, as well as the regular fantasy violence and fantasy gore. I do like my fantasy gore, so...
Yeah, they do.
Yes, I do. So these are our content warnings for this episode and for the campaign. Let's get right back into it. Manaia, Oka, and Dewey, what do you do?
I think Oka, it's been a minute, and I think Oka finally, they're still like turtled in on themselves, but they get quiet. They stop shaking. They just start breathing. And when they finally lift their body up, they look pretty embarrassed. They do not make eye contact with either Dewey or Manaia. They just clear their throat. Some things are a little harder to shake off. I'm fine. Please don't ask me about it. We go.
Morning, Oka. Let's get this show on the road.
Morning, Manaia. Morning. Let's go.
We should get going, yeah.
Vee should be back. With Chaku was his name?
Shakur.
I think they said they were gonna wait.
I'm sorry, Max, you're still kind of cutting out for me.
Okay, I'll get closer.
Yeah.
Vee said that she was gonna bring Shakur to the entrance of the hotel, right?
Yep. Okay, so the three of you leave. With that, you leave the hotel behind, you close the door, you sign out at the front desk, and out in the exterior of the hotel, Vee, you have brought Shakur to the Harpy Hotel, ?
Yeah, I'm gonna, again, keep kind of a little bit of a distance until I see my friends coming out, and then I'll bring Shakur closer.
Okay, just so we can clarify on the pronunciation, it's Shakur. I know there's like a lot of like Shakur, like Tupac Shakur, but it's Shakur.
Shakur.
Emphasis on the sha. I know there's some like confusion, so just to make that clear for y'all, Shakur.
Thank you.
Yep, totally. So yeah, Shakur sort of looks up and down at this Harpy Hotel establishment and glances at you, Vee, and says, "Quite the establishment for you and your friends to be staying at. I hear good things about the Harpy chain."
You know, it was a very lovely room. They treated us very well. They gave us the largest rooms they had. We each got our own king-size bed. It was one of the best sleeps I've ever had in a long while.
I'm sure it was. Here are your friends. The three of you exit out into a bright morning street. The massive hole sort of at the top of the Dabathati mountain stronghold is showing this like sunless light that's pouring through. It seems to be a little bit of an overcast day, even though there's no sun. The light just comes from everywhere. It's filtering down. Shakur looks up, nods, and says, "It is an honor to meet the friends of the Prophet Vee. My name is Shakur Lee."
Pleasure.
"It will be my honor to serve the four of you as a healer during your adventure."
Did he say prophet?
Just go with it.
Great. Let's go.
Time is of the essence, right? So, Oka, do you want does anybody else want to lead us the way to the mines?
Lead Vee. Oka is pretending that they are totally fine. Is gonna just kind of like shove out into the street and start walking.
Okay. Shove out into the street, you start walking, the four of you meander your way, or you stride your way, to the back of Dabathati. As you approach, you see that a perimeter beyond the one you erected impromptu last night has been erected. Maybe 20 feet out, preventing like civilians from getting close to the fence that was put up. There are no longer the moans, the pounding of fists against the barricade. Things seem to have quieted down. And you even see a part of the fence that has been modified in such a way that it can be easily removed. And you see like some volunteer workers as well as like adventuring parties are removing like this piece of fence and bringing bringing rations inside, like rations and food. And you see like grubby like miner hands like taking the food inside, and they put the piece back up, and if they have more water they bring it down, and it appears like a quarantine sort of situation has happened here, where they bring food from outside in, but they're still like keeping those who have been afflicted by the rage. Seems to have died down for now, but they're still keeping them inside. You don't see Captain Hufya anywhere, and in fact the main soldiers who are leading this sort of like enterprise are dressed in sort of the inverse colors of what Hufya's regiment was dressed in. These colors are sort of more bright, while Hufya's were darker. And Oka, you would recognize these as the colors of the Day Watch.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of Captain Hufya, it is a human woman. Sort of with like a long brown braid down her back, sort of shouting orders at people. What do the four of you do?
If no one else takes a lead, V's gonna walk up to this person who seems to be the lead and be, hello there, my name is V. Scherzo. I'm here with my friends, including our Chrysalis member, Shakor, and I assume you were told that we would be here to help clear out the mines.
Oh. 1 second. You're the interlopers, right. Look, I don't know how you got on Vadanva's good side, okay, but I don't take any shit. Especially from someone who consorts with filth. And this woman sort of spits at Shakor's feet. And you see like some of the other adventurers have sort of like taken a break from like either like transporting rations or like keeping an eye out to sort of like turn and look and like sort of sneer at Shakor. Shakor takes this kind of all in stride. Seems like perhaps he's used to this and just sort of smiles placidly and doesn't say anything. And this woman says, "What do you want? Look, you've already helped us plenty. Just be on your way."
We have come to help clear out the mines. We've been inside. We know some of the issues going on. And, so, we have a scientist. We have mighty warriors. We've got the healer from the Chrysalis, and you've got me, kind of the tour guide of the whole deal. I'm the manager. I manage the folks. So you're getting our services for free. So let's not be upset here. Let's not spit and make a scene. I hear that your city is very hospitable. So let's just be friends. All you have to do is let us in, close up behind us, and let us do our job.
You know what? Knock yourselves out. Go for it. Just don't come crying to us for help when the rage comes again and the the 5 of you tear each other to pieces like rabid dogs.
Well, when we come back and the rage is no more, you can thank us and you can thank the Chrysalis for helping save the city.
Yeah. And this woman sort of waves you off and nods at one of the men sort of manning the barricade. And the man shrugs and he removes a piece, allowing the 5 of you to pass through. Yes, Dewey.
When everyone starts heading away from this captain, I want to just whisper and if we're not back in 12 hours, 8 hours, something has gone wrong. I'm not affiliate. Just send someone for us, please, if that happens.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you have my word. I'll send a rescue party. She sort of rolls her eyes at you, as the 4 of you go toward the barricade.
My bases.
Okay. So the 4 of you go toward the barricade, and do you step through the hole?
I'm going to stand by the hole and direct everyone else to come on in. Just like on episode 1, I'll be like, but after all of you, please.
The other adventuring parties seem extremely reluctant to approach you or even go near the hole. There doesn't seem to be a lot of desire or eagerness by the other adventuring parties to go into the mines, given, the reputation that is surrounding this area. So the 4 of you are alone, or rather the 5 of you are alone, as you step through the hole, and you see a scene of just destruction. There's just and sadness. There's miners who are beat up, who are covered in tourniquets and bandages, and these makeshift little tents, eating rations. Everyone looks really beat up, and you see kind of in the corner a shallow grave that someone is tending to and is digging at. As you walk through, some of the miners who are sort of sitting on around these little campfires, they look up at you and they watch you. And one of them, this sort of this man, this Loxodon man, goes, "Are you here with the are you here with the Senate? Can we finally go see our families again?"
Not yet, friend, but in a little by the end of the day, hopefully, we will make sure everything is safe and we can let you go see your friends. Just one more day. That's all you have to wait.
One more day. Okay. We don't know when the next one's gonna come. It feels like the city's leaving us behind. They're just leaving us here to kill each other.
Well, don't worry. With the Chrysalis's help, we will change everything.
The Chrysalis. And their eyes sort of fall on Shakor, and the chrysalis sort of stitched into the back of his robes. There's some murmuring. There's less outright hostility from the miners. They look just really down on their luck. And a woman, a human woman who's sitting near this Loxodon goes, "At this point, I'm willing to believe in anything and everything that can help us. I don't care if you're with the chrysalis. I don't care if you're with the Temple of Unibathi. Just help us, please."
Careful what you ask of the gods. Sometimes they take it personally. Okay, mutters that mostly to themselves.
Okay. Yes, Manaia?
Rest assured, we will do everything in our power to stop what is happening.
Thank you. I don't know if there's anything you can do. We're too scared to go into the mines again, even to look at that tunnel that opened up. Be careful. The 5 of you, be very careful. No one who's gone down that tunnel has come out.
Well, get ready to see a miracle, friend.
Well, if you come out and you solve this thing, hell, I'll sign up for the Chrysalis. And Shakor smiles very, very wide at that. The 4 of you, I assume, continue on? Okay.
Yeah.
The 4 of you continue on, you pass these sort of makeshift tents. Everyone just looks real messed up. There's a lot of wounds happening, a lot of casualties. Even some deaths, based on the impromptu grave. It's really sad, actually. The atmosphere here is just one of defeat and simmering frustration that they're not being given help outside of these rations and being quarantined, roped off from the rest of their families. It's a really desperate situation. And you eventually approach the mouth of one of the tunnels leading into the mines that Ibia took you to last time. Okay. At the tunnel, you pause and you get your bearings. What do you do?
Dewey, how much time do we have?
How much time do we have?
How much time do we have? At this point, you probably have anywhere from 10 to 12 hours.
Okay. So about half the day?
Yeah, half a day.
Mm-hmm.
Half
A
a
little
day.
more than half a day.
We won't be able to see the sun in there. How will we keep track of the time?
I gotta... Oh.
Hold on. V is going to take out her box of cigars, and
V!
How long does each?
You've been holding out on me.
Well, just wait. Hold on, friend. Hold on. Don't take. So light lasts for 1 hour. So we it would be great if there were like, I don't know, 10 cigars in the box, so that when we run out of cigars being lit,
you're close to.
Yep.
To the next wave. Okay. Yeah, there are 10 cigars in the box. Why not?
Sure. Excellent. Excellent.
That's actually really smart, Erica. Why don't you have a point of inspiration for that?
So yeah, I explained this to the friends. Once we've got 10 cigars in here, I will cast light on one at a time. And when we've run out of cigars, because I'm sure Oka would love to smoke one afterwards, after it's lit, then we're out of time.
So no.
Looks like we've got 2 geniuses on our team.
A most astute observation, Prophet V. I would have expected nothing less.
Ooh, how exciting. So yeah, I will cast light on the first cigar and hold it like a torch almost. Or Oka, would you like to hold it perhaps in your mouth? I don't know.
Yeah, if V offers, Oka just takes it between their teeth. Even though they're not smoking it, they just hold it.
You chomp the cigar between your teeth. It's nice, high-quality tobacco and paper. You want to smoke it. You're, like, salivating, but you can't. And the 4 of you, with the cigar in Oka's mouth lit, step through the tunnel. It doesn't take you very long to retrace your steps from when Ibia brought you into the mines. Collectively, the 4 of you put your minds together and you can retrace your steps. A lot of the carts, you notice, have been overturned. Like, raw minerals and gems have been scattered. There's blood on the walls. Everything, like, there's just, like, ripped, shredded clothing, like a missing, a shoe or glove or hard hat here or there. Just, like, remnants of a riot. Basically, broken pickaxes, broken shovels, just strewn about all over the place. And the damage sort of even, sustains in terms of its intensity all the way to the back of the mine, where you see that perfectly chiseled, perfectly circular tunnel seems to begin here. The violence, with a broken pickaxe on the ground and blood splattered on the crystal. The hole looms open, and the tunnel beckons. What do you do?
Oka will pause right at the mouth of it, look back at the party. Let's go.
I'll watch our backs. You have the light.
Who goes in first?
I'm gonna stand by Shakor, and depending on where Dewey wants to go, I can go like second with him behind me, and then Dewey, or whichever.
So what's the marching order here, y'all?
I'll go behind
Oka. Okay. And then
Dewey.
And
then V, followed
V.
by.
Okay, and then Shakor at the end, and then Manaia bring up the rear.
Yep.
Okay, Shakor and then Manaia. Sounds good. So Oka, you take the first step in with your cigar lit, spilling this light. And remember, from the last time you threw stuff in here, it seemed to continue for a long time and end at like maybe a cavern or a huge room that opened up, but you couldn't see beyond. Beyond that. It extended for at least a couple dozen feet.
I'm going to mention this to Shakor and the rest of the party.
Okay. You mentioned this, and Oka, your foot crosses the threshold from where the mine's end and the god spine begins. You step into this crystalline tunnel, and the first thing you notice, given the light shining from your cigar, is all around you is this beautiful crystal sort of jutting out of the rock. Just absolutely gorgeous, scintillating even. Just like the light is just refracting off of prisms, and it's quite beautiful in all these rainbow colors.
Could I roll religion? See if there's anything about crystals or language about something like this that would mean something to me, or maybe history, depending on what you think.
What are you trying to it depends on what you're trying to do by looking at the crystal. What are you trying to discern?
I remember last time we were here, Oka learned something about the way that Utabathi can shape mountains at will.
Yes.
That's part of the god's power.
Yes.
I'm wondering if there are any specific rituals or any specific history about crystals or crystal caverns. Either have to do with legends of Utabathi or legends of Alapathy.
Sure, that can be either history or religion. I'll let you choose.
Maybe the same. I'm gonna go with religion.
Go for it. Make a roll. What about the rest of you as Oka slowly guides your feet forward? Just taking it in?
Manaya's keeping an eye on V.
Okay. V, are you trying to pluck one of these crystals out of the wall?
I'd actually just like to look around for anything sort of arcane about it as well.
Yeah, sure. As you're looking, the walls are perfectly round and smooth. And remember from what you deducted last time you were here, this tunnel was definitely opened magically. You don't have to roll for that. Oka, what did you get?
I only got an 11.
For religion? Okay. An 11? There's some myth that's sticking at the back of your head. Yeah, that has something to do specifically with treasures, maybe? Treasures in Utabathi, or something about maybe Utabathi creating gems, or people who like gems. These are, the loose strands of myth that stick to your head. Okay. Do the rest of you do anything else, or do you continue down the tunnel?
Ready to just go down the tunnel.
Okay, the four of you walk for maybe half a minute to a minute when the narrow tunnel, suddenly ends and it opens up into a vast, a truly ginormous hall. This hall is 20 feet wide, 120 feet long, and well over 40 feet tall. With these huge, just vaulted ceilings that carry your voices all the way to the top, echoing. And the floor here, this is what you saw last time you threw your, rock down here. The floor here is comprised of large chunks of flagstone, about 4 to 6 feet wide at their narrowest dimensions. And the walls of this corridor are decorated with intricate, colorful friezes that, upon a first glance, appear to depict people farming, mining, raising children, taming animals. And you notice that these murals are scaled to fit the hugeness of this corridor. So the carvings loom large above your heads, and towering at the very end of this 120-foot-long hall is a massive door carved from a single slab of stone. From your vantage point, there appear to be decorations or maybe carvings etched into the door, but you can't really see them clearly yet because you're 120 feet away. Oka.
I don't know if Oka would draw this connection, actually. Never mind.
Okay.
I think Oka just really, takes it in.
Okay.
Well, I don't know.
Draw the conclusion. Go for it.
Are the friezes big because the stone is big, or is it because the people depicted in them are big? Are these giants, or are they people depicted? My question.
If you look around, you definitely feel tiny in this hall. Even so, I don't know if y'all know what flagstones are, but they're similar to cobblestones. It's just a way to pave the ground. And usually flagstones are just wide enough for people to walk on. But these are huge. These are big flagstones for big people to walk on.
Kind of like sidewalk?
Yeah, kind of, but more think a fancy walk up to someone's mansion. Flagstone walk up, sort of, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oka pauses before they can go any farther. You turn back. Quick history lesson. Utabathi was at first, the grave of the giants. Proceed with caution. And they keep moving.
Sounds good.
Or the door.
Okay. As the 5 of you walk forward cautiously, just down this hall, are you going to be looking at the murals, or just go straight to the door? You're going to take it in, or just straight to the door?
Okay, has slowed their pace down to move cautiously and look. Less of admiring the paintings and more of a scanning the room as they go.
Okay. What about the rest of you?
I think V is observing what's in these paintings. I think she would take note of what's being depicted.
Okay. So V, why don't you just roll sort of investigation on the murals while you do that? Manaia, Dewey?
Manaia's taking it in. She's taking up the back, so she's taking her time just a little bit to just gawk. She's never seen anything like this before, so.
Yeah, how much do you weigh, Manaia? So you're 6'5". You are at least 250 pounds.
7'5". 7'6". 7'6".
Right. You're at least
7.5
300
feet
pounds, I think. That is really, you're huge. So how much do you weigh, Manaia? I will let you have final say.
She exercises a lot, so I'd say...
Pretty buff. You got a lot of muscle.
A lot of muscle.
Muscle weighs 10 times as much as fat does.
Say 290.
That is really light. That is really light.
Is it?
It is.
I have
is for
no
someone
concept
who is
of weight.
7. Okay, so the mountain.
Connie.
Yes.
This might be an uncomfortable conversation for a lot of people who suffer from EDs. Just so you know.
Okay.
I think we should move it along a little bit, if that's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
If the exact weight matters,
It does.
she's not a large creature.
Yeah, you're still medium. That's true. You still count as medium. But you're very muscular and powerful. So because of that, Manaia, as you're bringing up the rear and walking, but before we resolve that, V, what did you get?
I got a 9.
A 9. Yeah, so as you're looking at the murals, maybe it's because you feel really small, like a grain of rice almost, looking up at these huge paintings. You see, with a 9, you notice that the murals seem to be divided into 3 distinct sections as you're walking down the corridor. There seem to be 3 distinct stories happening. But what they are exactly, it's too big and warped for you to really be able to get much out of. Dewey, are you doing anything?
Yeah, ever since Oka mentioned giants, Dewey's just trying to imagine, kind of visualize if this place is a place that giants would live. Looking at the murals, the scale of everything.
Yeah, you're imagining someone who's maybe 3 or 4 times your height, and they, walking through here, and you can visualize it in your head. Yeah, they would fit right at home here. It would be kind of like a normal-sized corridor for them, like a regular-sized hallway. It's huge for y'all, but if someone were 3 to 4 times your height, it would be like a normal-sized corridor, maybe even a little small. Manaia. As you walk forward, you're just sort of taking things in, generally speaking. Given your passive perception,
15.
Okay, with a 15 passive perception, you walk forward and you feel your foot sink a little, and you hear a click. What do you do?
I'm gonna jump back into the smaller cavern and say, "Everyone, get back! Something just happened."
You jump back?
Back into the smaller tunnel.
Yeah, because you're at the very end, so when you walk forward, click, you release your foot off of the ground, and you jump back. And I need you, Manaia, and Shakor to make
I'm gonna pull him back as well.
To make a dexterity saving throw. Let's see how well you do first.
If I'm helping him, can I give him advantage?
No, let's see how well you do first with your dex saving throw.
Okay.
And if you do well, then I'll allow you to gift advantage.
14.
14. That is Sufficient. So Manaia, you jump back kind of just in time as you hear more clicks, sort of like along the walls of this corridor, and a huge sort of swinging blade comes out, slices out from the side. And because you did save on this, I will allow you to gift advantage to Shakor. You pull him by the scruff of his robe because he did not do very well. And why don't you just make an athletics check as opposed to him making a save to see if you can pull him back in time.
Use a point of inspiration.
Cool.
I would hate for our healer to die at the beginning of...
One more point of inspiration.
Okay.
Really care about this guy.
Okay. 19.
It's the
19,
Manaia
that is
way.
sufficient. You grab Shakor sort of by the scruff of his robe and you pull him back just as this huge blade just slices through the air where he was. There's a moment where all five of you can react, and then something else is going to happen.
Manaia did just yell, "Get back."
You did. What did the rest of you do?
Well, considering the blade would have then, like, passed right in front of me, V is going to...
Right behind you. It's sort of like bisected where Shakor...
Right, well, I would have turned around when Manaia yelled, and so
Yes.
it would have, like, passed right
You
in
saw
front
them.
of me.
Yep, right in front of your face.
Yep. So I'm just gonna, like, try to dive and do a forward somersault back out of this area.
Okay, as that happens, what about the rest of you? Oka, Dewey?
I just dropped to the floor, like cover my head.
Okay, I like
I don't know.
Why don't you
know.
take inspiration from that? I think that's really funny. Dewey, you drop to the ground and you cover your head. Oka?
Okay, let me understand.
Yeah.
There are no pillars in the room, right?
Nope.
And the room is only 20 feet wide?
Yeah, it's 20 feet wide.
Okay. Oka is the farthest forward from everyone, I think. But it's still a long way to the door on the other side, right?
Yeah, it's 120 feet.
Okay, I think Oka sees Dewey just go down, and is also gonna just, like, get as flat to the floor as they can.
Okay. Oka and Dewey, the two of you make a dex save for me, please.
Oh, Lord.
V, you are caught sort of in the space, between this blade. It continues to swing back and forth now, you know, at, like, a certain, like, rhythmic pattern. What did the two of you get, Oka and Dewey?
16.
Okay, Dewey?
19.
Okay, that is sufficient for both of you. The two of you are able to either roll out of the way. I'll let you decide how you dodge this, as another whoosh blade about 15 feet forward begins to like dismounts from the wall and whoosh, swings, sort of like maybe like passing, like chopping off a little bit of Dewey's feathers, of a not harming Dewey. Whoosh, and another one, another 15 feet forward, whoosh, swings and just barely misses Oka. And then another one, whoosh, 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 forming 8 blades in total, just sort of swinging across the corridor. Back and forth. But none of you take any damage because you just save well enough. But Dewey and Oka, the two of you are separated by blades from the rest of your party. What do you do?
I imagine the blades are pretty big.
They're pretty big, yeah.
And it's not like a whirlwind, right? Like there's time in between.
Yes. So
Swing.
there's several ways you can deal with this. You can just try to run for it. You can try to like look at the rhythm or the pattern of the swinging blades first and discern like the best path forward. You can try to stop the blades from swinging somehow. You could use magic. There's a ton of ways you can get through this.
I think, are Oka and Dewey separated by a blade or no?
Let's say there's just one blade between the two of you swinging.
Okay. I think Oka will just try to get to Dewey just by running past the blade, you know?
Yeah, I'm just like,
Okay.
Like timing it, like, you know?
Why don't you
Once it goes past.
Okay. Why don't you make a survival check for me? Well, actually, intelligence to see if you can like time it correctly.
I'll take survival.
Okay, go for it.
Only a 12. I'm not rolling very well.
Okay. That is going to be what I'm going to call a mixed success. So I'll give you a hard choice if you want to stick with the 12. Okay. The hard choice is you get clipped, but you get to Dewey. So you get hit. You get hit a little, so you'll take half damage from the blade. Or you, let's see. Or you are you're unable to get past the blade, but I will sort of give you advantage on your next tactic, a different tactic to figure out how to get through. So this path is closed, figure out a different way.
Okay. Okay. I think Oka is going to not be able to get to Dewey then.
Sounds good. You're
go forward and it
yep, and you're like, whoa, and you jump back. And you're like, okay, I'm not going to try to count the pattern here. What about the rest of you? Manaia, Vee, Dewey?
Well, we have to get forward, right? So we just have to navigate these. I'm saying this to Manaia.
Manaia's waiting for Mr. Pudgy Man Shocker to speak.
Shocker's just looking. He's just there. He's he didn't thank you, for saving his life. He's just sort of looking at the four of you to make a decision.
I don't know if this would work. This would really depend on just how heavy the blades are. But I'd like to maybe try Mage Hand to slow it down or to stop it.
Oh, interesting. How much weight can Mage Hand carry?
It can only handle 10 pounds.
10 pounds. Okay. You send out your Mage Hand. A ghostly hand erupts from your gem wearing hand, I'm assuming. Okay. And it floats toward that first blade, and it tries to stop it, right? It's exerting a force of 10 pounds against the blade. You see it slow down maybe by half a second. It continues to go, but it slows down by half a second. Due to your Mage Hand.
Alright. Yep. Rip and chat for Mage Hand. Well, so I imagine though, on the edges of the room, I imagine it's higher, so that there should be some clearing if we were to go against one of the far walls, right?
So it's coming out of slits in the wall, is where the blades are coming out from, and they sort of go back into the slits.
Okay. So okay.
But there's space
well,
they seem to be
way,
dangling from, as you see now, they seem to be dangling from chains. Were previously hidden alcoves in the ceiling, and the blades don't go all the way up to the ceiling. There's it's just the chain swinging up there. So if you could fly over it as well.
Well, for all those flyers, there's a choice. I think as V would be if we work our way to the wall, that would give us the most amount of time between blade swings.
That's true. If you inch your way instead of trying to go right down the middle.
Mm-hmm. So this is what I propose to you, Manaia and Shakor, that I just arbitrarily point to the right side of the room from our vantage point, and that we go against that wall over there, and that will give us more time to cross.
Very well. If this is what Prophet V decides, I will defer to your judgment. And Shakwar sort of begins to shuffle along. Manaia? You're muted.
You're muted.
Isn't there a blade right at the entrance?
Yeah, it's 15 feet in front of the entrance.
Oh, 15. Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So there's some space before the first blade comes swinging. They're separated by intervals of 15 feet from each other.
I was under the impression that there was a blade right at the cave entrance, and that we were back in the smaller tunnel.
No, you're good. You're still in the 15 feet in front of the small tunnel. Okay. The three of you shuffle toward the wall. What about you, Oka? What's the other tactic you've decided on? Are you gonna follow their lead?
Yeah, Oka's gonna try to look at Dewey and then sees. I assume that the blades are kind of loud, they're rushing wind back and forth. So Oka sees Manaia and V, tries to nod to Dewey to shuffle toward that wall as well.
Okay, Dewey, do you pick up on this?
Yeah. Can I try something first?
Yeah. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna cautiously fly up to the ceiling where the chains are coming from.
Okay.
Can I have like a hammer and a crowbar. Can I detach one of these swinging blades?
Okay. Based on the
Artificer time!
Based on the art we've seen of you, Dewey, you're like a wyvern. Your wings are your arms. So you could try to do that if you are able to get a perch somehow on the chain and do that. But it's gonna take a couple of rolls to see how successful you are.
Here's a different idea. I'm gonna take the crowbar and I'll have it in my mouth, and then like once I get up there, I'll just like jam it into one of the chains.
Okay.
And then like hang off of it.
Okay, the first chain, or are you picking a specific one? There are 8 blades in total.
One that's not like directly next to one of our party members.
Then let's say the third one. Okay. Dewey, because you can fly, describe to me what it looks like. This is only the second time the party has seen you fly. The first time was episode 1. I don't think you've flown since then. So what does it look like when you take flight?
A lot of fluttering. Some of the, the feathers got... some of his feathers got, nicked
Sliced.
by the...
Yep.
Slice. So, like, there's, like... What are those fibers in the feathers called? They're, like, kind of floating off of him a little bit. And he does not look very confident, in what he's doing.
Okay. Dewey, you, tentatively take flight. It's a little, like, ungraceful. As you get yourself off the ground, and maybe like y'all were like, oh shit, he can fly, and you get up into the sky, into the air, right? You're floating up, and you manage to latch your talons onto the third chain. The chains are not a big you can just fly past them pretty easily. You latch onto the third chain with your crowbar in your mouth. What do?
I'm gonna take it out of my mouth and jam into the top chain I can find near the wall.
Okay, so what are you're trying to stop it? You're trying to like prevent it from like continuing to swing?
I'm gonna jam it in there and then like hang off of one end to try and pry it away from the ceiling.
Okay, you're able to jam, because it is just a crowbar, you're able to jam it into like a little crevice between where the chain's hanging from the ceiling and the hole in the ceiling, and you hang on to it with your body weight, and you begin to like bounce your body and try to like jam this thing out. That is going to be an athletics check.
Great, I love that.
How athletic are you, Dewey?
I'll take it. 13.
13. Okay. You boing yoing boing yoing boing yoing. You hear sort of like a groaning noise, and a few loose pebbles like shower down on your head. Something seems to come a little loose, and you hear like a whirring noise from the ceiling as some sort of mechanism is being destroyed or broken by what you're doing.
Can I keep doing it until it comes free?
Okay, you keep going. What are the rest of you doing while Dewey's doing this?
I think Oka just kind of stops and looks up. They're just watching. They're just kind of like dumbfounded and watching.
Yeah, I think this is the most interesting thing I've ever seen Dewey do. So Vee's just gonna be like, "What is he doing?" And I'm just gonna stop and watch.
Manaia?
I'm gonna guide Shocker through the first blade.
Okay, so similar to Oka, I'm gonna ask you to make an intelligence check to see if you can like time it correctly.
I have 1 more point of inspiration.
Go for it. And you also have collective inspiration. You all have 7.
It's better. 13.
13. Similar to Oka, that's not quite gonna cut it. So I will give you a hard choice. Either just Shockward gets past, or just you, but not both of you.
We'll push Shocker forward.
Okay, Shockward goes, I believe in everything you as you push him right through, and it just and like it cuts off like a triangle of his robe, just like a triangle of the hem of his robe. But he's fine. He turns around a little affronted and shakes his head. But you're like unable to get past. The blade is way too intimidating to you. Dewey, you're boing-oing-yoing, you're hanging off, like a little work mechanic bird, and you hear an almighty groan, and you hear like gears cranking and clacking against each other in the ceiling, and then there's a small shower of rocks and pebbles, and there's a huge ripping, roaring noise as the chain disconnects from whatever mechanism was holding it into the ceiling, and the blade falls It just falls onto the ground. And I think the chain also like whips through the air. So make a dex save as the chain is whipping through the air to see if the chain whips you in whiplash on its way down. But you're still floating up there.
16.
That is sufficient. You're able to weave out of the way just in time. Your crowbar, though, is also starting to flip through the air. Do you want to try to catch it?
I'm worried more about the blade crashing down and then, like, dominoing over towards our party.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and, like, fly with the chain.
And hold this and use... It would be nice if he had Manaia's strength right now. Try to, like, grab the chain.
Just, like, try and get any leverage to make it fall the other way, if possible.
Okay. That is going to be a athletics check, I think, to see how well you do.
16.
Okay. It's a huge chain. It's like probably at least a ton. So yeah, a 16 is not quite gonna cut it, but it does something. So as you're like flying down, you're wrestling against this chain as you're flapping your wings, and you're able to, as this huge blade is falling through the air, you're able to get it to fall the other way. So the blade, bam, like you just. It just slams onto the ground, and the chains just wrap into the chain of the next blade, and it gets the next blade, and the next blade is like whirling around like a wrecking ball, and it hits the 5th blade, which whirls around, and it hits the 6th blade, which hits the 7th blade, which hits the 8th blade. So you don't manage to knock them over or rip the other ones out of the ceiling, but they do get tangled up in each other's chains, and they start to just sort of like move around it as a single entity. Yes, Oka. You're muted.
In Discord.
Where is Oka? Like, in between which two is Oka?
This is happening right in front of your face. Oka.
Oh god.
This is occurring, this destruction is happening in front of your eyes. Like a few pebbles and rocks shower down around you from the ceiling.
Oka starts yelling, like, what the fuck do you think you're doing? And presses himself against the far wall.
Okay, you scramble to the far wall and you press yourself just in time as this chain reaction happens. So there's still 2 intact blades. Chain reaction. There's still 2 intact blades swinging, but the other ones are sort of all jumbled up together and swinging instead of side to side, sort of front to back a little. So if you can get past the first 2, it's smooth sailing if you take the edges.
Oka's past the first 2, so
yeah. So Oka, you're clear until the door. Manaia, Vee.
I think V is just wants to do like a acrobatics routine through, try to just get through it, everything that's happening, and just. I mean, she's already by the wall, so she's just gonna try to time the most impressive.
You're just gonna flip. Okay, make an acrobatics check. Just flip on through those first 2 blades. Manaia?
I'm going to use my personal inspiration.
Go for it, Manaia.
Dewey, are you alright?
Yeah, I'm good. I totally meant for that to do what it did.
I'm going to use another person.
Okay, go for
I can see why they fired you, Dewey! I can see why they fired you!
I got the job done!
In that case, you mind coming back and doing that to these? I can't get through here.
So Manaia, you can just try to go through and make a dex save, or you can try to you were unable to track it with your eyes, but you can just try to just go with your body, if you want. Shakor has one more blade left that he has to get through. But before that, V, what did you get?
19.
That is more than sufficient. V, you vault, you jump, you skid, you pirouette your way through these 2 blades, and you end up sort of next to Oka, in front of these devastated swinging blades. You're totally fine.
Excellent.
Okay.
Is there any sign of these blades getting slower?
They just seem to be going. Based on your 12, you couldn't really tell. All right, or you're 13 rather, I think. What do you do, Manaia?
How does Dewey respond? Is he going to come back and dislodge these as well?
I think it'd be too risky with... I don't think he has it in him for another 2 tries of that maneuver he just did.
Yeah, it's pretty risky. Like, you know, like, you could hear the mechanical cranking. If it went poorly, you could have collapsed the entire corridor. You know that.
I know that now.
Yes, you know that now. Manaia, what are you doing?
Dewey shaking his head?
I don't think so, yeah.
Yeah, he looks reluctant.
Alright. One more time.
Make
Try the
your dex
dex.
saves. Just one dex
Try
save.
to-
Oka, what's up?
I try to assist,
How?
like by standing on the other side and like watching it. You know, I could shout like a now. You know.
You were unable to really track it as well, remember, with your 12. So you're unable to track it with your eyes to offer any sort of meaningful assistance to Manaia.
I just wait on the other side and like prepare to like grab her.
Sounds good. Yeah, you wait on the other side and you're
Something.
like giving Manaia some encouragement. Manaia, what did you get?
Because we have 2 blades between us, so...
Yes, just 2. You got this.
10.
10. Okay. That is not...
Inspiration, use it.
We do have 7 points of collective inspiration if you would like to use one. That 10 is not quite going to be sufficient to get through the first blade unscathed. Or you can just take it.
If the GM's telling me, then sure. I was going to see how much damage you were going to have us take, but...
You can also use your
Curious.
body as an experiment. Like, to see, like, how much damage this is going to deal to you. If you would like. You do have a healer.
I'll use an inspiration.
Great, sounds good. Reroll that.
Once more.
More inspiration, let's go.
That was a 6.
One more inspiration.
How many inspiration do we have?
5, you have 5 left.
We're gonna need that. Fuck it, I'm taking the 7.
Well, it was a 10, right, total?
For the first one.
Yeah, okay. That is not quite sufficient for the first blade, Manaia. You get clipped by the blade. I'm gonna let you decide which body part gets got.
Her right leg.
Okay. Your right leg takes 19 points of slashing damage as the blade swings down and it gets you. Just searing white hot pain blasts through your body as this blade comes down. And make a strength saving throw for me.
Oh, I can do those.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No.
15? Okay, that's sufficient.
Okay.
15 is sufficient. You aren't pushed, in the direction of the swing. You're able to stay strong, but damn, it hurts. And you're able to get yourself in that like safe area where Shakur is. Shakur looks down at your gaping, bleeding leg and says, Prophet V, should I?
Absolutely, yes. You're here to help us heal us.
Okay. So Shakur looks to you for permission, V. Sorry, not V. Manaia, to see if you can, if you're gonna take the help.
I think she's fallen.
Okay.
And she's just like, ah!
Child, allow me to help.
She's not going to give any, physical or verbal thing, because she's, too absorbed in this pain.
Sure.
That just happened.
You feel like a kind of doughy hand rest on your shoulder, and you regain 4, 6, 10 points of health as
Nice.
immediately just this soothing relief floods your body, and your some of the wound it stops bleeding, and it even starts healing a little, as though your body in the leg were accelerating by several months of healing. Just sort of stitches itself back up. It's still a little messed up, but it's the brunt of the pain is gone. Shakur lifts his hands off and says, I hope you feel better now that the blessing of the chrysalis is upon you. Prophet V, I only have a few more magics remaining. I recommend that we save that for when we are in dire need.
Absolutely. This is the hardest room we encountered today. I promise. Let's
It's the
get
first room, says Shakur. It is the first room, but I appreciate your insightful and enlightened words. Yes, C/Oka.
Usually to use a blood curse, I would have to use my own blood / take damage from it. Again, Oka doesn't know what's written on this character sheet. Would it be possible just to try to see if
You can use
Oka
your blood
could
curse
use
of binding to stop the second blade?
to use Manaia's blood?
Oh, interesting. You're trying. You're like planting your stance, and you're trying to will that blood to come out of Manaia, but it's not reacting to your will. However, as you're trying to like coax it out, you can feel your own blood roiling in your body, eager to act on your command. So what's the play here? Are you gonna feed some blood to your magic and try to use Blood Curse of Binding to stop this blade? Or Manaia, are you going to make another dex save to try to get past?
She's gonna stand up and say, "Thank you, Shaka."
Certainly.
Not sure how we're gonna get past the second one, though. Unless you have some more surprises.
Unfortunately, child, the majority of my powers are in healing the sick and ailing. I trust the chrysalis. And he is going to close his eyes and try to walk forward. He's going to make a dex save. And he succeeds! He walks straight forward.
His eyes closed.
You would have given. Listen, Connie. If that was one of us, you would have given us disadvantage. He gets disadvantage.
He barely makes it as he closes his eyes. I rolled a 15 and a 12, and that's before his modifiers. He closes his eyes and he walks forward. The blade, again, cuts off a triangle of his robe, just like barely missing his back. And when he opens his eyes, he goes, "Ah, yes, the chrysalis gives and the chrysalis takes." And he turns to you, Manaia, and says, "Child, believe in the chrysalis and walk forward." Oka,
Don't do that, Manaia. Believe in yourself.
I am grateful for your words of encouragement, Shaka. Unfortunately, my allegiance lies with a different goddess.
I understand. Sometimes it takes a while for us to become enlightened. Isn't that right, Prophet V?
Absolutely, blessed be the chrysalis.
Oka turns their body away from Shakur and toward V, and like looks at her and is like,
All right, Manaia, go for it. Roll that dex save, if that's what you're doing.
She still has a limp.
Yes. You got this, Devin. I believe in your dice. Come on.
Do I have disadvantage?
No. I'm not going to give you disadvantage for that. No. Okay. You got this, Devin.
Do I? Hey, I used a different dice, and 21.
That is sufficient! Yay! You are able to look, and you make your way through. It doesn't even clip your trench coat. Oka's words and your own belief in yourself embolden you past this swinging blade. And congratulations! The four of you have solved my blade puzzle.
Blessed be the chrysalis.
Blessed be the chrysalis.
I swat at V.
As Manaia, you make it past the blade. The five of you look forward at the door at the end of this 120-foot long corridor. The next obstacle in your way to getting deeper into the Godspine and figuring out just what is causing people to riot and rage. We can end the session there. If that feels good to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 5:30. Cool. Okay, great. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching episode 12, My Bones Carry Calmness and Chaos Equally, of our all-trans person of color-led 100% homebrew Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition actual play livestream campaign set in a non-colonial, anti-orientalist world. We stream weekly, so episode 13, lucky number 13, is going to come out next Saturday. Wait, hold on. No, it's not, because actually I'm getting my wisdom teeth removed. Holy shit, I forgot about that. There is no episode next week. I am gonna be so high on Novocaine that I can't GM properly. But our next episode, episode 13, is going to be Saturday, November 28th at 3 p.m. Central. We are so excited to see what exactly is happening in the Godspine. Again, my name is Connie. I'm the GM and executive producer. My pronouns are they, he, and she. You can find me on Twitter at @byConnieChang. I also man the Transplanar RPG Twitter account, so give us a follow. We would love to talk to you on Twitter and interact with you. So I'm going to pass outros along to Erica.
Hi, I'm Erica, she, her, and I was playing the V Nocturzo. You can find me on Erica New Girl at everything. Come watch me on Twitch Monday, Tuesday, Fridays, MTF, get it, at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I will pass it on to Devin.
Hi, my name's Devin. I use they, them pronouns. Manaia's having a fun time. And you can find me on our Discord. Thanks, Toaster, for putting the Discord link in chat. Check us out. Go ahead, Max.
Hey, I'm Max. I go by they, them pronouns. You can find me at Starchmonger on Instagram or Tumblr. C.
Hi, my name is C. I use they, them pronouns. I played Okada. I am a dancer, digital artist, and jack of many hats. My commissions are open. You can find me on Twitter at PieSharpArt or on Tumblr at Pie-Sharp. But you know who else we want to give a shout out to? What other amazing artist? Hannah May Create. Hannah May Be Famous, whose art is on our overlay today. So you should go follow Hannah. Hannah May Create on Twitter and Tumblr, I believe, and commission them, because look at this art. It's literally amazing.
Oh, good.
It's so freaking
so good.
And don't forget to check out the hashtag trans crowdfund hashtag on Twitter, because a lot of trans folks are using it to fund their transition surgeries, housing, medical costs, anything like that. So if you have extra money to spare, please consider giving to the people in that hashtag. And with that, we will see you for solo and group gaming nights on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Central. Other than that, check back in 2 weeks for episode 13. Hopefully we're going to be wrapping up this Dabathati arc, so we would love to have you for that. And we're going to stick around. We're going to raid Dicey Amazons. They're a great all women of color, queer-led tabletop variety channel, so stick around as we raid them. They're fantastic. Throw them a follow, throw them a sub, and we will see you all on Tuesday. Peace. Doom de doom 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 de doom 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 doom.